everything I've done that's important is a joke. Like this, I've started this podcast. It's like, I want to talk. Let me talk. I'm finna talk. And that's how I started this. Like, it was a thought, and then it came out my mouth, and somebody was like, amen. One amen in my corner. And I was like, I could talk. I know I could talk. But it was a hard amen to get. So once I got that one difficult amen, I knew I was going to win everybody else. I was like, okay, cool. I got you on board. I preached my first sermon my one and only sermon, when I was like in middle school. And I didn't have a clue. My mama trained me so hard. She was like, say it again, say it again, say it again. I was saying the speech in my sleep. And I didn't understand why. But when you're talking to people and you're ministering to people, or you just, whatever, when you're having a conversation with people, you never know where your words carry. And that's the part of the journey I didn't like, because it was like, I'm messing up every day. I'm not perfect. So who am I to tell you what perfect is or how to succeed in this? And that's what the heaviest thing was for me to learn, still is. And I get frustrated. Had a panic attack last night. I get frustrated with the thought of I got to this level, and now I got to help people get to this level with me. But yet I'm still unhealed. I still, do the things that I say I'm healing and I'm working on. But that's the part of the game where you have to say grace. That's when you have to grant yourself grace. Yes, I fall short. Yes, I curse. Yes, I may hit my head. Yes, I may bump it a couple times in the same spot. Ain't nothing worse than bump your head in the same spot. But with that, you have to know I'm learning. Maybe I'll be a little less reactive than I was the first time I did it. Maybe I'll be a little more quieter the first time I did it. Maybe I'll learn to sit on my hands. Have you ever sat on your hands? Instead of boxing it out. Because sometimes you do get tired. And with me, I fight the same way. I do the same thing. I don't care who you are. I'm do the same thing. Because it's why? And once you realize why you're feeding your pain, you'll stop feeding it. So I like the attention that I was getting from being sad and hurt and upset. I like that attention. So once I stopped getting that attention, because once I reached a certain age, that didn't work no more.
So would you say the trauma?
The trauma was the fuel of my life. That's the only thing that I feel like the trauma let people judge me less. And nothing worse than a Band-Aid on an open wound. It gotta heal. You gotta open it up. Until you open it up and get whatever's in there out, you won't do it. It's like a root canal. You gotta get to the root of the problem. And until you get to the root of the problem, you're gonna continue to have that problem. So until you get that nerve out of that root, go back to who you are. What's your purpose? What you doing this for? You're gonna have that problem. Yep, so I went back to the drawing board. I got back to me. I'm still getting back to me. And I'm doing the work. And now that I know, I basically cleaned out my toolbox with what I had put in there. I had put betrayal, lies, trauma, all kind of stuff in this toolbox. Once I emptied all that out, that gunk, because can't build a house with that, I started pouring into my cup. And what did I start putting in there? Respect. Where did I start with respect? I had to respect myself. How do you talk to yourself after you failed? I would call myself dumb, stupid, slow, ugly, all kind of stuff, because that's what people had told me growing up. And I had let that negativity feed into my mind, and nothing worse than that, having a negative mindset. And when you have a negative mindset, everything is negative. You paint that picture to you doing this to me, you doing that to me, you poking the bear, you doing this, you doing that, you doing that. And when you do that, you your own worst critic. So I had to pour into my toolbox respect. That's the first thing, self-worth. I'm a finesser, so I used to talk to people. If you had something, I'm going to get triple. That's how it was. And that was just unhealed. And so with that being said, you would take. But the only thing about that is, them Usher bucks at the Usher concert. Only thing about that, you can't take that to the bank. You can't cash it. I was cashing other people's dollars in my bank account. When I got ready to turn in my tax return for that year, bankruptcy. My soul was bankrupt. I didn't have nothing. I didn't have worth. I didn't have respect. I had lost all of it. Where did I lose it first? In relationships. Why did my relationships fail? Expectations. I was putting expectations on people, placing them in spaces where I had took myself out of. How can you be with somebody and place them somewhere you're not even at? You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you do that, you know, your toolbox, when you get ready to fight, you know, when you get ready to fix something, when something breaks, you pull out your toolbox. When you realize ain't nothing in your toolbox to help you fix it, where do you go? You can either go to hell or jail or heaven. Where you going? I got tired of going to hell. I eventually went to mental jail. And once I bonded myself out of jail, I swear to God, I was never going back to mental jail no more. Ain't nothing worse than battling yourself in the mind. Your own mind. And it came from that negative mindset. Me canceling myself out. People been putting me in the room with a podcast for as long as I can remember. I remember I used to talk in my sleep. That's how much I talk. So, like, all this talking that I'm doing, but I wasn't applying it to nothing. People would tell me, that helped me. You poured into my cup. You helped me in this area. I didn't know what to do. That really brought insight to my life. You know what I was doing? In the club, popping bottles, in the booths, standing on table when I should have been in front of a multitude of people, pouring into them, telling them you can win, you can do better. This is not the end of the race. This is only a pivot. You wonder why they put roadblocks, and you wonder why they put speed bumps, and you wonder why potholes in the road. That's to slow you down. You ever been on your way to work and you already been late, and then you run into traffic? You see what I'm saying? And ain't nothing worse than being sitting in traffic mad. Oh, da, 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 da. And then you know what? You look at your dashboard and what on it? 0. You going 0 match. You still ain't went nowhere. You blowing all this smoke, blowing all this fume. Da, 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 da. They won't let me over. What's up, man? Da, 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 da. And you get to the accident, and what's at the scene of the crime? The car in flames. Had you been speeding through there trying to get to work, you would have been that car in flames. But you got protected and you got shielded. But when you went to your toolbox because you were stuck in traffic, you pulled out your curse words, your mad words, your fight words, instead of looking, God, I thank you for this traffic. I thank you for slowing me down. You know, you got all this stuff working for your greater good, even though you're in a rainy season. You think that you're down and you think that you out and people have counseled you out. However, all of this is building you up. When they build a house, what do they start on? Dirt. But that's the foundation. You need that roughness, that ugliness, that dirty work to build your foundation. If you never go through anything, how are you going to appreciate anything you went through? If only good came, you will never know what bad feels like. You will never know what losing feels like. I would only win. If I only won, I would never understand how great of a job that is. You see what I'm saying? As a teacher, we're based on data. You know, we have to move the children's data. If I never know what a low score is, I would never appreciate a high. It's true. If a child come in with a perfect score, how can I move that child? But if a child come in with a low score, a mid score, I can see the growth. I can elevate. So God puts those road bumps, those speed bumps, those shifts in your life because things come, seasons come, but you have to stay grounded and know who you are and whose you are and what you're doing in order to go to the next level. You got to do that dirty work. They do that dirty work every time they lay a house. They start digging that dirt up, plotting. I ain't never built a house, but I know that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do that work. You got to. And it's ugly. It's going to be so ugly. Again, I had a panic attack last night before I came to record this. It's going to be ugly, but you have to grant yourself grace. Within 5 minutes, my panic attack had calmed down. I was calm. And I was talking and laughing and playing. I was back to my regular scheduled program, but I had to go through that season to realize it's a reason why I'm here. And sometimes the greatest victories we we take or we're given comes from the greatest losses. You gotta lose to win again. Shout out to Fantasia. But you got to.